Guys, to lead the Gedion, Gedion Zelelem is out at South Korea for the under 20 World Cup, along with Maitland-Niles for England. And unfortunately, he came off in the 34th minute, I believe, against Ecuador, injured. Now, people at first thought it was minor. It's turned out he's got ligament damage. And it's very frustrating. I mean, he's another player I don't think Wenger's handled. I mean, away from the hype, we all know people in football like to hype people up. But in terms of being a footballer, before we even talk about his loans and stuff like that, he was one of them I believe should have been put on some sort of program to develop physically. Because again, like some others, he's there mentally. He's just not there physically. He can be a bit passive. Like the game can pass him. I don't want to say the game can pass him by because he can dictate and control the tempo. That's not what I'm saying. He can do that, but unless you're looking for them sort of things and you're trained to see the final out, someone might not necessarily see that. That even was shown in the little appearances he got this year. Well, that, or was it a brief one? Now he is a good player, but like I said, there's many bodies ahead of him. He's been on poor loan spells. At Rangers he played and then he faded in the second half of the season. That's not anything bad. I mean, that happens in football, and that's something that's going to always happen as a young footballer. That's what you're trying to do, gain consistency. And the same thing I'm saying about being passive and controlling the game, but not doing a bit more in terms of stamping your authority on the game, being a bit, trying the X factor parts, and more often that was said at Rangers as well. And last year he stayed for the large part, he essentially stayed at the club, playing for the under-23s and things like that, probably waiting on a little chance like Maitland-Niles. And yeah, he got it in the Carling Cup, didn't feature after then that, went on loan, didn't look too happy, went on loan to whatever team that was in Holland. Crowley had a good loan spell in Holland. Zelelem, in contrast, he featured, then he started to creep to the bench to not featuring at all, and he was just in and out of the side. I wouldn't really call it a success, and this isn't the first of little niggling injuries he's getting. And at 21 in January, like I say with some other players, he's still young to have a career, but it's at the time where you actually got to look in the mirror and assess, okay, do I move away from Arsenal to get playing chances permanently? His contract was up, he signed another contract. If I was him, maybe you question that. I'm not saying he should have left, I'm saying you simply have to question things. You have to question realistically, am I going to get a chance here? Like, let's take our current situation, for example. Zelelem, and there's many others. Insert here how many, whatever talented player you believe is at Arsenal in centre mid. They could all be. It's about getting a chance. Look at us. Like, let's just say, for example, we're out of the Champions League spots. We're in the Europa League. We need a massive rebuild. We now need to fix certain other areas. We now need to get back to where we was. So we don't really have time to think about youngsters. I mean, and we're gonna assuming we get reinforcements in, assuming the players like Wilshere get a chance. There's a lot of bodies in the way, and he was probably looking at it is that I go to the under-20s. I kind of put myself in the shop window for scouts, get a decent loan, or I get myself extra fit or have a couple of weeks off. I go to pre-season and I try to put myself in the manager's thoughts because Wenger rates him highly, but he's just not there physically. And it's rather unfortunate to see him injured now because it's out for 9 months. He's going to miss pre-season. The only benefit is that he'll come back before the end of the year, but we've also got to take into consideration recovery times and rehabilitation programs. And I'm not a doctor or physio, so I'm not going to talk about that quite frankly crap and alien stuff. But yeah, we've got to consider all of that. He's calm playing as a deep line playmaker. He can play centre mid. He can obviously play as a 10. He's played out wide in our youth sides, as you know, when we love fitting a playmaker out there. And briefly, he's there. He's got it. It's just a case of patience and waiting for him to get there physically and having a clear pathway and a clear chance, because it does feel to a degree at Arsenal we kind of develop players for no reason of late. I mean, Gnabry annoyed me because to let Gnabry go after all the time you've invested, and I've made a video, I've talked about it. I actually praised Gnabry for leaving because he wasn't getting rated, he wasn't getting playing time, so he had to leave. But to invest all that time, especially when you're injured, players were injured and things like that, and then to sell them, like, we're farmers that just never see our fruits of our labor quite simply. Like, Zelelem, all I can say is I hope. I don't like to see people in ill health. Hope you get through this. Hope you can try and get back into your ambitions of getting in the first team and things like that. And the time you come around, if there's a couple Carling Cup games or a couple injuries, hopefully you can get a look in, because I'm all for young players. But yeah, guys, the Leader Goon, I'm signing out.